Good evening and welcome to the Diamonds in the Rough webinar series. This evening we feature Xavier University of Louisiana in our virtual college tour. And the whole purpose of this is to showcase Xavier University. Before we get started this evening, as always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Kappa Alpha Psi Foundation and the Kellogg Foundation, for sponsoring our webinar this evening. We'd also like to thank Xavier University for being on to showcase their school. So, being an alma mater from Xavier University, I'm pleased to present Jared Honora, who will actually walk us through Xavier University and tell us more about Xavier, scholarship opportunities, also talk about what happens over the summer with summer programs that are offered to students during that time. Once again, our webinar is being recorded, so if you have any questions, please let us know. If you need to come back, you can come back later, but we're going to get started. Jared, welcome to our call this evening.
Thank you for having me. Everyone, we want to get started with just a brief video to give you a little idea, and then we're going to do the official welcome and cover the basics.
Being groomed for success, having unparalleled support, feeling well-trained and well-nurtured, being capable of excelling in my field, ready to make a mark on this world. Xavier is different from other schools because of the faculty who are incredibly engaged with students. To work with energetic, lively, intellectual community every day is just fantastic. We talk about work and we talk about jobs, but if they're doing something that they love the rest of their life, they're never going to regret that choice. When our students leave here, they leave ready for success. This is the college where I can be myself, and I'm the majority, actually. And that's different. Xavier has given me an unequivocal experience. It's given me a different sense of self, a different sense of culture. It's just opened my mind in so many ways. When I tell people I'm going to Xavier, I want them to think that I'm about to become the most successful African-American female pharmacist that they know, because they know that Xavier only produces great pharmacists. I'm going to leave ready. When I left Xavier and I went to graduate school, I realized that I was every bit as well prepared as my graduate school colleagues who had attended big-name institutions. The soul of Xavier is tough love. Hold them very close and let them go. Build a strong foundation, and then you're prepared to soar wherever they wish to soar. My students will leave ready. I want the current students to know that when you walk out of here as a graduate, say that you will be prepared for anything. You have not been cheated while you're here on opportunities. In Proverbs, it states that iron sharpens iron. We are sharpening each other, meaning that we're pushing each other towards achievement, towards excellence. To leave ready means to understand the obstacles that are coming your way and be prepared because of the training that you have received to handle those obstacles. Well, I have 3 affiliations with Xavier. I am first an alumna, and second, I'm a staff member, and my last affiliation is as a parent. He came here and got zapped by the Xavier love, the Xavier spirit, the soul of Xavier. I think it's our mission. Our students are committed to service. They're committed to being leaders in the community. That spirit resonates very heavily in the Xavier soul. My son is about to graduate from Xavier. I feel proud as a mom to know that he's going to finish school, to be able to take care of himself and be prepared for what the real world has for him. It is really a great feeling as a parent. And I believe, like all other Xavier alum, he will leave ready.
All right, we would like to welcome everyone to this webinar. Thank you, Kappa Alpha Psi, for hosting this event. This is an outstanding way to reach out to all of you. My name is Jared Honore. I am the Senior Admissions Counselor here at Xavier University of Louisiana. And I get the privilege to work with you today, showing you a lot of information about Xavier that you might have known, might not have known, and of course, some information that will definitely guide your footsteps. One of the biggest things about Xavier is that we stand on the shoulders of giants. We give the opportunity for students to really understand how to earn every inch, gain every mile, and truly be successful in your endeavors. It all started with a strong foundation. Now, pictured here on the slide is our founder, St. Catherine Drexel. St. Catherine Drexel is a wealthy heiress who decided to give up her fortune to make sure that she made a difference in her community. She had an audience with the Pope when she was struggling a little bit. She wanted to know truly what did it mean to serve and what can she do to give back, to make sure that we gather together and we strive forward. And the Pope told her simply, we want you to go in and provide opportunities for education for those who did not have that opportunity at the time. We wanted you to make sure that you had schools built for those African Americans and Native Americans in the South. And she started her version of an Oregon Trail. So she went across the South and she planted elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. And the best thing ever, she said, you know what? We need something solid that our students can continue their education. And thus, in 1925, Xavier University of Louisiana was born. Xavier stands as the only historically Black and Catholic university in the Western Hemisphere. We are the only university founded by a saint, St. Catherine Drexel. We are a Catholic institution, however, keep in mind, over 70% of our student body is not even Catholic. You have the opportunity, no matter who you are, where you're from, to come to this great university and learn from a different perspective, a 14-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, which we will get into later. You're going to learn from a one-on-one opportunity from not just your faculty, not just your staff, but your fellow classmates as well. You build relationships, you build your network, you take your first steps in life at Xavier University. But to really do us justice, let's go into the academic side of Xavier University. Let's show you exactly what type of students we produce, what opportunities you have, and some things you might not have known about Xavier. So Xavier is constantly being flagged as one of the outstanding selections you can make for college, for your next steps. The Fisk Guide, of course. Our U.S. News is a very, very, very solid supporter of Xavier University in our efforts to make sure we keep providing quality education. And of course, the Princeton Review. The New York Times actually published an article. It was about 14 to 16 pages if you printed it out, showing that Xavier had the prescription for success in producing African-American doctors. Now, this spanned a great bit of time because this article incorporated the work of our past president, Dr. Norman C. Francis, who's a Xavier alumni as well. And of course, the longest tenured president of any college university. He was our president for 47 years. It was during his time and his tenure that he worked with several individuals. Dr. Carmichael was the biggest name at the time. And it was their goal to make sure that we produced a program that was able to succeed well beyond the walls of Xavier University. And from that grew Xavier's strong name in the sciences. Now, Xavier does have several distinctions. We are the #1 school in the nation in the number of African-American graduates who go on to complete medical school. We are #1 in the nation in awarding bachelor's degrees to African-American students in the areas of biological studies, biomedical studies, and physical sciences, as well as physics. Now, one of the unique sides to Xavier that we do have, of course, our strong pharmacy program, where we are top 4 in the country for producing African-American pharmacists, as well as #3 in the nation for producing African-Americans who earn a PhD in a science and engineering discipline. However, Xavier is much more than just sciences. Xavier University has a very robust option for you as far as majors. And of course, we have a unique opportunity where you can utilize 2 different majors to make sure you have the solid background you need to be successful in your career. We show you how to link things together. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later on in the webinar, but we want you to know that when you see our list of majors, understand that you don't have to just have one. You can double major, you can double minor. We produce opportunities for you to do concentrations as well. We want you to be truly well-rounded, and you're going to see that as we go forward. Now, just a little breakdown of Xavier. Xavier is a very small school, roughly about 3,044 students currently on campus. Now, that is for the entire campus. That is not just our undergraduate enrollment. Undergraduate enrollment is roughly around 2,200. So to give you a real idea, Xavier produces strong numbers each year based off of a small number of students. And we do this by giving you certain amenities, certain opportunities that help you along the way. As you can see, we have 50 majors available to you. 45% of our students go on to graduate from professional school. We have a 14-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, 9 varsity sports teams available. Xavier sits on over 63 acres of land, and we offer 4 residence halls as well. Now, speaking of the majors, one of the biggest things is we are proud to announce certain new majors. So this past year, we were able to offer, of course, our first time ever, a major in neuroscience, making us the very first HBCU to offer neuroscience, and the only HBCU to offer neuroscience, as well as crime and social justice. This coming year, we're offering 2 new majors, bioinformatics as well as data science. So Xavier covers a lot of ground. You can see from the bottom right side of the screen, we'll talk about dual degree engineering. It's a 3-2 program, 3 years with Xavier, 2 years at another institution. Once we're done, you leave with 2 degrees. That's 5 years, 2 degrees, just for the dual degree engineering program alone. Now, we must highlight a few basic programs right now because there are a lot of great things happening. We're going to look at the chemical engineering side. Chemical engineering currently is working with NASA. So our students are working with NASA to design a battery that's going to power the space station launch in 2021. As a benefit to that program, our chemical engineering students have their unmet need met by NASA, which is, of course, a huge, huge opportunity for our students to have their name attached to a very large, unique opportunity before graduating with the degree. But you do have a unique side to it, as Xavier does provide unique ways to fund your way through. And you definitely can earn your opportunities on campus. Now, we do want to make sure that we mention our art department, which has an entire city block dedicated to it. So on the webinar, if we have anyone out there who is interested in art, you have a studio area for painting, sketch work, you have a dark room, you do have digital and black and white photography. We have a digital design area. We do have, of course, our oven. So if you want to do ceramics or ironwork, that is available. Our music department is very, very strong in the development of our musicians. Our students actually even have the opportunity. They've done it for the first time last year and were invited back, of course, after an outstanding performance to perform at the Jazz Festival in China. This was a benefit of our partnership with China, which you will hear about later. It's under our Confucius Institute. Now, of course, we cannot fail to mention a lot of the great things happening in education. We have elementary, middle, and high school education available as an undergraduate degree. We have a master's degree level. And we do have an Ed.D. in educational leadership that we offer as well. So Xavier is definitely diversifying your pool of what you can do. Keep in mind, our business program has more opportunities than we have students in the major. It is a very, very strong area to go into on our campus. And we have concentrations in finance, management, sales and marketing, and accounting. We have what you need to really, truly develop, as we offer not just internships, but research starting your freshman year. And one of the unique things about Xavier is that we make sure that we piece things together. So you are working on your academics, you're keeping your grades up, you are solidly having the support you need to produce in the classroom. And then, of course, you can showcase what you have learned outside of the classroom at many of our internship and research opportunities. We still offer our Festival of Scholars, where we showcase this work personally every single year on campus. Now, speaking of our College of Pharmacy area, as we did earlier, our College of Pharmacy has a unique opportunity for students. If you are a senior looking to apply to Xavier, we have what's called the Contingent Admissions Program, where if you have a 3.3 or higher GPA and a 23 or higher on the ACT, you can apply for a reserved spot in the College of Pharmacy, pending your approval for the program and successful completion of your courses. Xavier has a very unique opportunity there in the sense where you have a route that you can take that would lead you to your doctoral level degree with the support system needed to make sure that you leave ready. Now, the basic process to apply to Xavier is very, very simple. August 1st of your senior year, your application goes live. The application is free. Xavier is a Common App school, so you can fill out the Common application or you can fill out Xavier's personal application. We have both available. Now, 3 documents are needed in order to complete your file. We need your high school transcript, your counselor recommendation, and of course, your college entrance scores, so your ACT and or SAT. To start with your transcript, Xavier does look at transferable credits. So we can receive advanced placement, international baccalaureate, or dual enrollment courses, as well as CLEP tests. We can look at that for transferable credits. For AP exams, you want to make sure you take the exam, you score 3 or better. A 3 or better will qualify you for potential transferable credits. For international baccalaureate, you want to look at a 4 or better on the exam. For dual enrollment, we need to make sure that you have a C or better in your coursework. The college that you attended for the credit is fully accredited. And of course, we need a final transcript from that college sent directly to us for evaluation purposes. Now, when looking at your transcript, Xavier does look at your weighted GPA for evaluation, and that is for acceptance and scholarship purposes. So please keep that in mind. When considering your next steps, we do consider your weighted GPA in that factor. Now, I will tell you this, Xavier is a rolling admission school. We do not have a numeric cutoff for the ACT, SAT, or GPA. All students are reviewed in a holistic manner, case by case. So everyone has a fair opportunity at possible acceptance based on all documents you submit to us, which brings me to council recommendations / other recommendations. We do need 1 recommendation from your high school counselor, principal, or vice principal. However, you can submit as many documentations as you need to, whether it be recommendations, personal essays, statements. We can receive all of that. It helps. So we encourage you, please, if you have documentation you want us to see, send it to us. We want to put it on file for you. Now, for test scores, ACT and SAT, Xavier definitely does encourage all students to consider taking both the ACT and the SAT. This is the best way to potentially get the score needed, not just for acceptance, but for scholarships. Now, unfortunately, Xavier does not superscore. However, when looking at your test scores, we want to see exactly how you've done. We do not hold any lower scores against you. This is a holistic review. So when we see multiple scores, we see potential for progress. We see that you are really working hard in your endeavors. So let us know exactly where you stand. Let us help you walk you through these guidelines. Remember, you can communicate with us at any time. Our counselors are here for you. Now, when it comes down to your performance, we want to make sure that you know we're looking at exactly how you've performed transcript-wise, GPA. Have you had a rough patch or not? We want you to make sure if there was a rough patch in your time frame in high school, let us know. It does not have to be very, very descriptive in a side essay or just a statement to us. If there was a rough time that you've had and it affected your grades, we need to know this so that we can give you a fair, holistic review. We extend ourselves as best as we can because we want to make sure you understand. Xavier is not one of the places where your first day is freshman orientation or the first day of classes. You start your footsteps with us in admissions and we walk you to the next point where you're ready. And then, of course, hopefully graduation 4 years later or 6 years, depending on if you are going to pharmacy and you leave ready. Now, tuition costs for Xavier. Xavier's tuition cost for the 2018-2019 timeframe per year is $21,954. Now, that is tuition by itself. It does not include room and board. Students are not required to stay on campus their freshman year. If you do decide to stay on campus, it's an additional $9,047 for the year. Now, keep in mind, this is room and board. So this covers your room and your meal plan. Now, mandatory fees are estimated at $1,200 for the year. Altogether, if you're staying on campus, you're looking at roughly around $34,000 for the year. If you're not staying on campus, you're looking at roughly around $24,000. Now, if you do decide that you would like to drive on campus, yes, freshmen can have cars. The decal is only $75. Now, some important dates that you do need to know. August 1, applications for the fall go live. On October 1st, your FAFSA application goes live. We encourage you, we ask, please, 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 make sure that you go online as soon as you can and file your FAFSA. It's going to help out in making sure that we cover all the basics for you so that you can be a part of Xavier University. Now, March 1 is our priority scholarship deadline. You want to make sure that your application is on file before March 1st or by March 1st. You want to make sure we have everything that we need. If at any time you do have any questions, remember, we are here for you. A closed mouth does not get fed. It's rather you feast or you starve. And we want you to eat well here on Xavier's campus. Now, May 1 is the decision day. So for all my seniors out there, this is a very important day that's coming up. If we have any seniors on this webinar, please remember that your acceptance deposit is due May 1st. You want to make sure that you lock your spot in today. So just recapping, and we're stressing it again, for your financial aid piece, please, your FAFSA goes live in October of each year. Make sure that you complete it. If you have any questions, our financial aid department is available to walk you through this process. Now, let's talk about scholarships. For Xavier University, we have quite a few different scholarships that are available. We're going to start at the bottom of this list and work our way up to the top. The very basic scholarship available is our Xavier University Scholarship. Now, this university scholarship is awarded to students based on the combination of GPA and test scores. It is imperative that you make sure that we get all of your updated information. If you do have at some point after acceptance a higher test score or a higher GPA, we can do a reevaluation of your scholarship with that new information. So you want to make sure that at any time after you've applied, if you've been accepted, if you've been offered a scholarship or not, if there is an increase to your GPA and or test scores, you get information to us, because we do have opportunities to reevaluate students for scholarships. So please always make sure you remember your counselor, you reach out to us, and you make sure that we have all updated information. Now, the next level scholarships that we do have, if you attend a high school, a Catholic high school, and you are number 1 or number 2 in the class, so you're valedictorian or salutatorian, we have what's called the St. Catherine Drexel Scholarship. This scholarship is a full tuition scholarship for students who are number 1 or number 2 in their class and attend a Catholic high school. If you are meeting those criteria and it's your senior year, you want to make sure that you have your counselor send that information directly to us so that we can document it and that we can, of course, do our evaluation for your scholarship, or in some cases, reevaluation if you've been awarded already. The Presidential Scholarship. The Presidential Scholarship covers the cost of full tuition. The room allowance is no longer a part of it. So the Presidential Scholarship is only tuition and mandatory fees. So tuition and mandatory fees is the Presidential Scholarship. Now, the Presidential Scholarship itself does cover, of course, the tuition and fees up to 4 years if you maintain the 3.3 or higher GPA necessary for it. To officially qualify, you will need to make sure that you have a 28 or higher on the ACT. The equivalent to that 28 on the SAT is a 1310. So a 1310 or higher on the SAT or a 28 on the ACT, as well as a 4.0 on a weighted scale. So a 4.0 or higher GPA and a 28 on the ACT, a 1310 on the SAT would qualify you for the Presidential Scholarship. Now, for the Presidential Scholarship itself, and this is true for the university as well, if you maintain the necessary GPA and, of course, are going towards a track of college or pharmacy, this works for 4 years as long as you maintain the GPA. So you would have it for your first 2 years of undergraduate studies, and you can utilize the cost based on the scholarship for the first 2 years of pharmacy school, as long as you maintain that GPA. Now, the top level scholarship is the Board of Trustees scholarship, which is the full tuition. It is the room and board, and it is the mandatory fees. Now, the Board of Trustees, which covers full tuition, room and board, and mandatory fees, requires a 30 or higher on the ACT, which is the equivalent of a 1390 on the SAT. And then, of course, a 4.0 or higher GPA based on a weighted scale. This scholarship is available to students. If you meet this criteria, please make sure that you get the information to us as soon as possible. These particular 2 scholarships are competitive. The Board of Trustees presidential, you want to make sure that you reach out to us as early as possible. There are 2 residence halls that you can stay in. Of course, St. Catherine Drexel Hall for our freshman female students and St. Michael's Hall for our freshman male students. Now, the unique thing about Xavier's campus, we do have freshman halls, we do have upperclassmen residence halls. So you do have an opportunity to study close by your classrooms, because actually the freshman halls are found on the main campus. So it's close to the University Center, it's close to your science buildings, it's close to your art building, your administration building. Everything is within a decent walking distance, roughly about 5 minutes. This is the center point of our campus. So it's not a far commute. You will not need a vehicle to get across campus. Yes, you can use a bike if you choose to, but we do have residence halls for freshmen. Once again, if you choose to not stay on campus, you do have that opportunity your freshman year. You can reach out to our housing office. They can provide you information if you do decide that you want to move on campus after that point. Now, summer programs. The Center of Excellence is available. It is a 4-week non-residential enrichment program designed to grant rising high school freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors interested in the pharmacy or broader perspective of the academic requirements and exposure to various career opportunities in pharmacy. This is, once again, a non-residential program. However, it is available for high school freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We have our Chinese immersion program, which is available for students ages 5 to 18. This is, of course, is in partnership with our Confucius Institute. Now, we offer our classic programs, which are well known. These are programs that have lasted over the years: MathStar, BioStar, and ChemStar. These 3 unique programs that are non-residential are available for students who are going to be taking algebra in the fall, the upcoming year, biology in the fall, the upcoming year, or chemistry. These 3 programs kind of give you that opportunity to get your feet wet in the subject matter while still kind of gaining a feel for Xavier's style of teaching. Of course, Xavier's style of resources available to help you succeed. Now, our SOAR program, Stress on Analytical Reasoning, is a special 3-week program it's a residential program that prepares rising high school seniors in analytical reasoning and provides early exposure to science and health careers. So this SOAR program is a unique program where, for those interested in the STEM field, we provide you that chance to really start learning to think critically. And then, of course, provide you useful examples that help you develop strongly as a Xavierite. We also have our Super Scholar Excel program. It's, of course, another residential program that you can stay on campus for, and is geared towards rising seniors interested in the arts, humanities, social sciences, and education. We have 2 unique programs dedicated to make sure that you do have your first steps and that we walk you through the life of a Xavierite as early as possible. Now, speaking of our Confucius Institute, we do have a unique partnership. Now, Xavier has received a unique award. The Confucius Institute is a special award that is bestowed upon a university based on certain criteria. Roughly about 400 schools in the world have it. Xavier was, of course, an outstanding choice because little after starting this program, we were announced to win Confucius Institute of the Year, which is unique. You don't hear it often. So Xavier has a partnership with China. It's the Hebei School right outside of Beijing is our partnership school. Students have the chance to study at the Hebei University and have the chance to send a few students down this way to learn from Xavier. This is separate from our actual study abroad office. This is a different program. So keep in mind, this is a separate entity. So you have that one opportunity by itself. Likewise, Xavier does have our Center for Intercultural and International Programming, where we have partnerships that allow students the chance to really expand their unique opportunities. As a matter of fact, we just received word that we have an opportunity for incoming freshmen. They have the chance to do study abroad before they start Xavier from July 21st to August 10th. They have the chance to do study abroad in Cuba or Martinique. So just to give you an idea, it does not just happen after you're a sophomore, after you're a junior. We start as early as possible, providing you the best opportunities, which, keep in mind, students have the chance to do study abroad programs depending on the time frame. There are separate individual programs available. You have the chance to do things like theology. You can take your theology course in Rome, Italy. You have the chance to really, if you're going to be a foreign language major, to study in the environment where you can immerse yourself in the culture and language. There's a lot that you can do, and we are here to make sure that you understand it is best to leave well-rounded, because when you leave well-rounded, you leave ready. Now, in addition to our many opportunities, we have our social Greeks, we have our professional Greeks, we have over 50 clubs and organizations. Now, I mentioned this for three main reasons. One big reason is that we focus on community service. Community service is our mainstay. It's our bread and butter for our students, because we want to make sure, just like our mission statement says, we work to create a more just and humane society by educating those within our communities and sending them back to make a positive effect in a global society. So Xavier University requires that all student organizations on campus must complete 3 service projects per semester. Now, in addition to this, we have an individual service department on campus where students can provide opportunities to really assist the communities around them, and of course, in different locations. Xavier has responded to several different events, most recently, of course, the effects of the recent storm in Houston. We want to make sure we show everyone that students can do amazing things, and it's never too early to start. In addition to this, the second part is, of course, the unity of purpose. Now, our students have an opportunity. Some organizations, some groups have a chance for students to earn internships, of course, earn research opportunities based on their work. This is their chance to really dive into their departments and learn different aspects of their future career. So we provide departmental organizations that give you that unique opportunity to really serve in a different way and to really gain knowledge and effectively use what you learn in the classrooms. Now, the third biggest way that this really does affect our student body, it allows you to be creative. So our students have the chance to really create a lot of the events happening on campus, which means if you are really, really interested in seeing something big happen, may it be a forum, may it be a conversation, may it be just something unique to you, there's opportunities across the board to really, truly be a Xavierite and support one another. We want to make sure our students learn to really express your ideas, multiply your talents, and watch yourself grow. Now, keep in mind as well, there are work study and opportunities to make funding available for you. So you can be a team manager for sports teams. We do have opportunities for students to tutor. We have free tutoring in biology, chemistry, math, reading, writing, and physics. So if you are interested in, of course, being a tutor on campus, if a student makes A's in their coursework, and then, of course, they fill out the application, you can potentially be approved. And a job on campus as in the tutoring center gives you roughly about an $11 to $13 an hour position, which is not bad. However, keep in mind, we have research opportunities. Those potentially can come with stipends as well. We have opportunities for you to do a student for hire program, which is where you can have a position on campus working with different departments. And then, of course, there are other different ways based on scholarship availability, based on partners. You never know what's going to be available. So if you're wondering, can I definitely come down and be able to take part in a lot of the great things happening on and off campus? Yes, you do have that chance, and Xavier provides opportunities for you. Now, I will encourage everyone, please make sure that you do look into the departmental organizations. because they do make a positive effect as far as selecting your next career. For instance, if you are part of the pre-vet club, any work that you do with the pre-vet club, may it be with Audubon Institute or a local veterinary clinic, it can lead to you figuring out which area of study is going to best be your career, be closest to your career. So it's going to give you the opportunity to really say, you know what, this is the reason why I am here. This is the reason why I'm majoring in this major. Now, we have, of course, 9 athletic teams. We have men's and women's basketball, cross country, track and field, tennis, and of course, women's volleyball. We have athletics available to students in this capacity as well as an intramural capacity. So if you're interested in potentially playing another sport or potentially starting another team, you want to make sure that you speak with our athletic department because they work hard to give you opportunities across the board. Now, there are academic scholarships available from us in admissions. There are athletic scholarships that are available. So if you are interested in potentially going for a team, they do have athletic scholarships available that can assist you as well. You want to make sure you go online to the athletics page and fill out the recruit survey. Unique opportunities within the city. New Orleans, being a vibrant city, has a lot of great vendors that come down to the area or exist within the city. So it gives you that chance to really work closely within one location, just getting familiar with your next step career. Our business department, they've had partnerships in the past where our students have interned with Essence Fest. Of course, as you know, Essence brings in over 200 vendors for this unique event. So it gives you a lot of opportunities to really showcase what you can do before you graduate. So you can make the networking work for you. Now, when it comes down to places like Audubon Nature Institute, we have professors on campus, of course, who teach in different capacities. They have relationships with different organizations, such as this one. This gives you an opportunity to get hands-on with your subject matter in different ways. So, for instance, if you want to go into potentially pre-vet, you have the chance, of course, to work with domestic or exotic animals. We want to make sure you know there's major differences when it comes down to Xavier. But one of the biggest things is we want you to understand that you need to feel comfortable on this campus, really making sure if there's an opportunity that exists and you're interested in it, talk to us. Let us know. We want to make sure that if it is feasible, if it's right within your plan and you want to make it possible, that we help you along the way. So we provide many of opportunities across the board for students to really excel. Now, this is the last slide because we want to make sure we go into a little basics about Xavier in a different way. We want you to understand that Xavier is a true story. This is a legacy. And as you can tell, there's a lot of Xavierites that can tell you a lot of great things, but it keeps adding to the legacy, which is the best part, because everyone has a unique story. Everyone has their reason for attending. Everyone has their reason for putting an X up and saying, you know what, Xavier is where I truly started my journey. We want you to do that with us. We want you to write your own story. We want you to own your story. And the best way to do that is by working with us personally. We can start no matter if you are a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. We can definitely start here in admissions with getting you in basic information to get by year. What goals do you have? How to achieve them? Freshman year, it's important that you make sure your GPA is very, very strong. So in your freshman year, make sure, study hard, work hard, create a strong GPA. It is difficult to knock down a strong GPA. So how you start lays the groundwork for what your next year is going to be like. After freshman year, you establish your GPA. Sophomore year, that's where we encourage you. Take at least one ACT or SAT. We want to make sure that you start getting your feet wet, because if you are familiar with these tests, you will realize that this is an opportunity for you to do great things as early as possible. This takes a lot of pressure off you going into your junior and senior year. We want you to make sure that you're succeeding, and we want you to be as relaxed as possible. Going into your junior year, we want you to focus. We want you to make sure you're taking your ACT or SAT. You're making sure your GPA is strong. You're gathering your portfolio together. You've done roughly 2.5 to 3 years worth of great work. We want to see what it looks like, because in senior year, we want you on August 1st filling out your application and really making it count by owning your story and applying to Xavier. Now, at this time, what we want to do is we want to look at our chat box and see if we have any questions from any students. So we would like to open it up if we have any questions.
Hey, Jared, I just got one thing that you just didn't mention. I mean, we're the original signs for Wakanda, man.
Well, I was trying to avoid it just in case, of course, you never know what Disney may do. But Wakanda truly is the start from Xavier because, hey, before Wakanda X's have gone up, Xavier has always put our X up, and it's been a Xavierite forever, a Xavierite for life. And it's truly, truly a bond that can't be broken.
Yeah. One thing that being a Xavierite, the one thing that I will tell everybody, when parents are looking at schools, when students are looking at schools, Xavier is family. And the reason why I say that is if you meet anybody who went to Xavier and you went to Xavier, they don't care what year you went through. You joke around like your brothers and sisters, and you knew each other forever, whether you were in class together or not, because you have that shared experience. Xavier is a family. So we have our first question. Can you talk a little bit more about the engineering program? I know that it's a 3-2 program, but can you explain a little bit more about how that works?
All right. So it depends on the area of engineering that you're interested in. Let me take you back to one of our slides previously, and we will put you right here. Okay. So we have right now about 7 different forms, you can somewhat say, of engineering. We want to make sure that you understand that there's different areas and different opportunities based on each. So for instance, if you're interested in computer engineering, we have a partnership right now with Google, where Google is actually, for incoming freshmen, paying to fly them out to really work directly with them for about 2 to 3 weeks on campus. And then, of course, fly them back afterwards to get an understanding of what not just computer engineering, but computer science and computer information systems really is. So that's very critical in understanding that our engineering program kind of ties to the unique area you're going into. So for computer science, computer information systems, computer engineering, that's available. You spend 3 years focusing on understanding not just the basic engineering side, but how do you tie the two together. For chemical engineering, it allows you to kind of branch out a little bit differently, to understand not just the basics of the chemistry side, but to understand exactly how is it useful? How are you going to be able to apply this knowledge to your engineering side of your degree? How are you going to be able to go in and be creative in your design? Each different area covers a unique sense. So for our engineering program, it's actually partnered together with not just our computer science program, but it gives kind of a leeway into other divisions, other areas. So each separate one has kind of a partnership built in, and you have a unique way of connecting with multiple different disciplines on campus so that you can kind of cross over. If, say, for instance, you were deciding between biology or biomedical engineering, you're trying to decide between the two. The first 2 years are definitely going to go hand in hand for the most part so that you can look into both sides of your degree. You can see how they connect, and you can make the best decision for you. The best thing about our engineering is that it gives you a solid background in not just one, but multiple areas, multiple disciplines before going on to your next level degree, or excuse me, going on to your next part of the degree, which is the additional 2 years. All right. Do we have another question?
Not right now. You know, you talked about the department programs. I know that I personally was in the business program, and I was part of NABA, National Association of Black Accountants. So, it helps you to really be connected with your peers and to learn more about the professions that you're with. Um, One of the things that I do remember is being involved with your academic advisor and your department, because as we talked about scholarships, those opportunities do come up, but the department, it's like posted in the department. And so if you don't ever go to your department, you might miss out on opportunities because they put the things on the bulletin board specifically for people in those studies and in those majors over there. So uh,
Oh
people
no, I
have to
agree.
be very aware of that.
Well, actually, to piggyback off of your major, keep in mind, there's a lot of students who don't know how to really connect certain majors. If you have two interests, where do they connect? Xavier does a good job at kind of connecting those dots for you. For example, how many of you actually knew that medical device sales is a very lucrative form of sales to go into? There's a very powerful opportunity within it because if you have an interest in science, may it be biology, may it be chemistry, you can, of course, use that as a minor or a double minor or potentially a second major. You can partner with sales and marketing, and you can learn the basics of what you need, not just to sell, but to understand your science. 3M, they make, and well, they have a medical device division. They make an adhesive stitch for cosmetic purposes. We know because our students are the interns. That was their internship in the summertime, going from doctor's office to doctor's office, applying an adhesive stitch for cosmetic purposes. So when you're actually in the fields from our internships while you're here as a student, you are seeing exactly how uniquely tied together a lot of majors are. Your career has at least two different ways to get to it. Keep that in mind. And we try to support those connections to the best degree possible.
So do we have any other questions, or have all questions been answered? I know there's got to be more questions out there. Um,
See, are they typing into the chat? Let's see.
no, they won't type it in the chat. There's actually a specific question box. So I'm just looking to see if there's any questions. No, actually, I don't see. I think you covered everything. Nobody has any questions.
Hopefully that's a good thing. And definitely, I want y'all to remember, if you don't have questions right now, please write my contact information down. If you have any questions, feel free to email or call me. My name is Jared, Jarred. Last name is Honore, Honora. My direct office line is 504 520 7390. And then, of course, if you have a chance to email me at jhonora@xula.edu.
So, Jared, is there an honors program?
Now, I'm glad you asked. We recently just started it back. So our honors program is coming back now. And the current benefits that we have already established, those students who meet the criteria and are selected for the honors program are going to have the chance to have opportunities directly for funding for research and study abroad. They're going to have a specialized retreat so that we can work on not just basic skill building, but true professional development. So our honors program right now, as we're working on the academic side of it as well, is giving you an opportunity to really get comfortable within your realm of what you're going to be doing next. So may it be your presentations, may it be networking within your field, may it be providing those opportunities for you to really learn in a different environment. We are providing those opportunities for our outstanding students, and that program is going to be releasing more information shortly. So make sure that you are looking at our website, xula.edu.
Sounds good. Now, this young man asked, do you recommend this school?
One of the best things I can tell you is that not only do I recommend this school, this was my story. This place is my part of my legacy now. And that's a unique thing for me because my class was the Hurricane Katrina class. So my senior year was spent all over the place. And one of the unique things about Xavier is that I had a person reach out to me and say, hey, this is a school you need to consider. This is a school that can definitely help you get through anything. And I took those words closely because You don't hear it often. You don't see it often. I was in probably one of the worst situations possible at the time, and no other place reached out to me like that. And it just kept playing in my head as I was considering those words. And I ended up applying, and I got in, and I still haven't taken a tour. I grew up in New Orleans, born and raised in New Orleans. You stayed pretty much where you were. So I didn't have parents who went to college. They couldn't tell me about Xavier. I didn't know. And it was this ultimate surprise for me. And when I stepped foot on campus that first day during orientation, I fell in love with the feeling of understanding that I felt at home. And I will tell anyone that if you ask me, do I recommend this college? I recommend my home, because that's what Xavier truly is. From start to finish, I developed more relationships than I ever knew I could. I have close friends that I can call on. I have friends who are doctors, who are lawyers, businessmen and women, CFOs. I have a lot of different friends because of one outstanding choice. This is more than just a recommendation for it. This is an invitation to open the door to your new home.
As I said before, Xavier is my home. When you meet another Xavierite from around the world, you just know that you have met somebody who is basically like family. So it's a wonderful thing to go to Xavier, but it's also a wonderful thing that when you hang out with people who are, as I said, not your competitor, but your family, you just feel different. So it's a wonderful thing to be. Let's see. What is your percentage of graduate students, and how do you prepare students for graduate school?
So one of the unique things is we have a roughly, let's go back to the slide. We can definitely keep it up. Wow. All right. So our graduation rate is 44% currently. Now, one of the biggest things that you want to pay attention to is that it shows 45% of our students go on to graduate from professional school. It depends on which area you're going into. So there's a lot of different unique sides to your different degrees. There's a lot of different unique opportunities. So we prepare you based on your choice of next level schooling. For instance, if you are interested in going into an MBA program, our business department is adamant about showing you how to gain your 5 years of experience so that you can get into the best programs possible. We prepare you to understand, okay, this is the route you take to maximize your potential, not just for, of course, the best amount of money in a paycheck, but for the best opportunity to do what you love to do, to follow your career. For another example, education. Our students must pass the praxis, which is 3 specialized exams in Louisiana to be certified to teach. So that's before graduating with your undergraduate degree, with your bachelor's degree. So we prepare our students to give that opportunity for them to start while going for their next level degree. We want to make sure when we're talking about building your next steps, we don't want you to just trust that it exists. We want you to watch as you're taking them, and we're pushing you through. So we specialize it towards each individual department and next step program, and we allow you to see what opportunities you have. Which way does the staircase lead to?
That's wonderful. I shared your email address with those that asked for it. So we thank you for coming on to share your information about
Well,
Xavier
thank you.
University. Um, you know, our alma mater, uh, the school that you grow to call home. So we want to actually thank Jared for joining us this evening, and we thank you for joining our webinar. Please join us next week as we have two more in our series. The first one is 2-year versus 4-year colleges, which is going to be on Tuesday, April 24th at not 7 p.m., but it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then how to stand out from the crowd, how to make your resume great. And that's going to be on Wednesday the 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. So we once again thank you. We also think that We also thank our sponsors, the K. Kellogg Foundation and the Kappa Foundation. If you have any questions or any suggestions for any other webinars that you'd like to see, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at bjax01kappa@gmail.com. And once again, for those that need to contact Jarrett, his phone number is 504-520-7390. His email is JHONORA@xula.edu. You can also find him on Xavier's website at xula.edu and go look under the
Contact the counselor page. If you go to xula.edu/admissions, you can select contact the counselor and you can click on my image.
And once again, thank you guys all for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed our series, and we look forward to seeing you next week as we present our other two series. These series will be going on, and this session was recorded. So if you have any questions or you want to actually go back and review anything, please make sure that you stay clicked to the registration, and it will pop up again, and there will be a video so that you can watch again and have any questions answered. Thank you again.